Good evening and welcome to another edition of Evening Review. My name is Okito Craig, I'm your host. And in studio with me today we have Mr. Pendapala Nakathingo. He is the Secretary General of the Namibia Bus and Taxi Association, Nabta. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Thank you and welcome.
Thank you.
Earlier this week in Keetmanshoop, there was a protest staged by various minibus taxi drivers. Can you tell us, were those your members and what was the protest about?
Yeah, of course, they are the members in the industry, and the protest is about unhappiness about the announcement by the Honorable Minister on the issuance of the transportation permit to the seven-seaters. That was the issue.
Okay. In that announcement, the Minister also said that transportation permits will no longer be issued indefinitely. They are only going to be valid for 2 years. And also that they will no longer be used as a commodity to trade. What is your membership's opinion in that regard?
Of course, in terms of the idea to make the permits to be on a renewal basis, that is most welcome.
Okay.
So because it gives an opportunity to those who have been not in possession of transportation permit, or it was difficult for them to acquire passenger transportation permit.
Yes.
But on the period, yeah. So we have the issue, a little bit issue of the 2 years period, of which we have advised. Remember, it's coming from indefinite.
Yeah.
So it was a lifetime permit.
Yes.
And then now it's been made to be renewal.
Yes.
So our proposal, and still standing the same position, is that we have suggested to be 5 years. First it was 10 years, then you said 10 years could be more. Let us make it 5 years so that it can expire together with the driver's license and also the PDP.
Yes.
So that's what we're saying. 2 years could be so less.
Yes.
Yeah, and remember the public transport sector, bus and taxi operators are the individuals that are struggling with life. When it comes to the transportation permit, that is a certificate, it's a qualification for someone to earn a living.
Yes.
So therefore, we are still standing our position to say, we just continue giving our advices and guidance to the Honorable Minister with appreciation to say that, of course, while we welcome the initiative, we are also now standing the position to say we will appreciate if it can be considered to become or to be 5 years renewal transportation permit. That is the position. So in terms of the situation, of course, I have explained it to really that the situation it is not that easy when it comes to the issuance of the transportation permit to the Sedan to operate on a long distance. But as the policy and regulation says, the Sedan is supposed just to operate within the town boundaries or within the 60-kilometer radius.
Yes.
In terms of the previous engagement, stakeholders engagement, when it was under the road transportation bill, consultative stakeholders engagement.
Yes.
We have submitted that, or we have give our proposal in terms of the industrial experiences that, of course, the seven-seaters, we don't have any issue for the seven-seaters to be given transportation permit.
Okay.
But in order for us to distinct and prevent unnecessary chaos and friction, so the seven-seaters as a sedan vehicles need to be restricted in a certain distances. And we have said, of course, from 60-kilometer radius, it can be granted 100-kilometer radius between towns. So, because, this is a new trend of transportation business.
Yeah.
And of course, it need to be properly regulated and guided.
Yes.
So I said, the minister, remember the Honorable Minister is a politician.
Yeah.
And a politician has been voted by the people to serve the people,
irrespective
of whatever background you are.
Yeah.
So, of course, we understand that. But people don't understand the Honorable Minister's message. I can interpret it to you that Honorable Minister, by saying seven-seaters must be given transportation permit, of course, he have to say that because he's a servant of the people. But to the to the administrators, such as the official within the ministries and governments.
Yes.
So that is a declaration of war between policies and regulations, especially within the public transport sector. It's a declaration of war that the Honorable Minister has declared, meaning he really wants to see the people be saved. But how are they going to be saved? That is the issue of the administrators, the officials, to make sure that the policies and regulations are crafted to be suitable and accommodate every Namibian.
Yes.
So that is what the minister is saying, if I can interpret the minister's message. So myself as an expert in the industry, of course, as I said, the minister as a politician, it's his right and obligation to make any statement and any message. But when it comes to the implementation of the policies, so it is a law that is guiding and regulating a certain sector. At current, the policies and regulations, as I have said, that are regulating sedan vehicles only have got restrictions within the town boundaries or within the radius of 45 or 60 kilometer radius. So whereby now some people are celebrating, of course they have to celebrate, especially seven-seaters, because it's a political will from the Honorable Minister that is showing to save his people.
Yes.
Because you don't know who has voted for you, but of course you have to save the Namibian people, irrespective of who voted for you.
Yes.
So, but what I'm trying to say is that as much as the minister is making those pronouncements, we are also in a position to protect the industry. Long distance buses are suffering. I can tell you, since COVID-19 till to today, the long distance buses are suffering. And remember, those are the people that are paying also for the logbook. They are paying for the renewal of of course, the licenses, vehicle licenses, all the checks, to make sure that the buses are roadworthy.
Yeah.
And it is not easy.
Yeah.
And at this particular moment, while welcoming those juniors on board, the same ministry and the government have to make sure that it protects the business operation of the long distance operators by restricting the seven-seaters to operate only with between towns within the radius, 100-kilometer radius, as it was suggested or proposed.
Yeah.
Because seven-seaters are not really safe to travel across the country. So it was just made a family car vehicle, not necessary for transportation business. Remember the capacities.
Yes.
So because now when you do the transportation business, you have to be on the road 24 hours.
Yes.
So, and by being on the road 24 hours, it means that the vehicle itself needs to rest. It needs to have a capacity in order to be able to cater for that particular transportation businesses.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
No, I understand. But I must say that from the point of view of a customer, especially if we consider the periods when schools close, when Namibians generally travel, the treatment that we have experienced at the hands of long-distance transport operators has been very harsh at times. Prices get pushed up and customers get treated like cattle, basically, and that has become the norm. Do you think that the industry took cognizance of that, had solutions, or do you think that this intervention by the minister was necessary so that at least people have options now?
I can tell you, seven-seaters are going to be more frustrated because once the industry is so regulated, they are not going to make money. I can tell you so. Now at current, they think they are making money, but they are going to operate at a loss. Why I'm saying that? Because operating on a long distance, because once, as you said now clearly that at loading zone, there have been chaos, people being pushed and pulled, to be pulled, pushed into some certain vehicles. And this has been also the same experiences with the seven-seaters, I can tell you. But that is a trend. It has become, all over and everywhere at all loading zones. But where we are heading, where the transport sector is going to be properly regulated, once the transport sector is regulated, it's no longer going to be business as usual, as the minister correctly said it. So the safety, as I'm telling you now, majorities of the travelers, they are no longer using these small vehicles, such as even the Quantums and the vehicles. They have moved to fleets because of safety. So the safety is what matters most. It's not to arrive early, but the safety, because people plan their travel. That's what I'm saying. At current, because the seven-seaters are not paying for most of the requirements of what requires. So therefore now they just make a quick money. I can tell you, and I can guarantee you, that's why I'm saying it will be much more better if they will be operated at a regulated, restricted destinations. Because in order to give space to the long distance operators, so those who are now going to, passengers that are going between towns, of course they can use that services. It is a welcome move, because it is now going to also eliminate the lack of transportation services. But it needs to be properly regulated countrywide. And the seven-seaters operators need to select or choose where and at which route they need to operate from, countrywide, because there must not be restrictions to say you can only operate from here and there. They must choose themselves. Same applies to the long-distance operators, that if you want to operate Vindu-Katima route, that's your route. If you want to operate Lideritz or Shakati, so be it. But the industry need to be regulated. So what we are saying is, of course, we don't want some other people to be excluded from benefiting from the Namibian cake. But it must not be made as an opportunity for robbing others. It must be made in a proper manner. That's why I say we are not calling seven-seaters to be banned out. We have been saying so for many times. But what we are saying is it need to be done in a proper manner.
We're just going to go for a quick commercial break and be right back to continue this conversation. Thank you. Welcome back to the Evening Review. My name is Okito Greg, and in studio with me, Mr. Pendapala Nakathingo. He is the Secretary General of Namibia Bus and Taxi Association, Nabta, and we are discussing recent developments in terms of regulation of long-distance travel. Let me see if I understand properly the situation you envision. Imagine I'm a customer, I'm trying to travel from Windhoek to Swakopmund. Does that mean that I should take a seven-seater from Windhoek to Okahanya, from Okahanya to maybe Randers, and then from there to Swakopmund, whereas if I take a minibus taxi, I can go in one trip all the way through? Is that how you envision it to work?
This is why I'm saying, at current, seven-seaters or the passengers might be celebrating. But once this process is being fully implemented, it's going to be frustrating. Of course, it will be, for one have got in a good pocket. Of course, that's the way you're going to go. Because if you know that you can travel from here, you get another one from there, and until you reach, so that's up to you. But what we are saying is that, remember, seven-seaters are already many. Those are coming in. And the bus operators, the bus transportation service, also many. That's why you see sometimes you find some congestion at loading zones. Because Namibian population are so less. And it is not necessary for us to have number of vehicles on the sector. It's going to be overcrowded, and it's going to cause chaos, as it is almost happening now. So that's what I'm saying. It's a matter of really to operate on a vision, knowing exactly what we are doing. Otherwise, we are going to be, if it is allowed for many Namibians to buy vehicles, because if you say any vehicle must be taxi or a bus or passenger transportation, then we are creating a serious problem for ourselves. So therefore, it is very much necessary to have limitations on the routes. As I said, you cannot just operate on a randomly, as it's happening now. That's why at current, seven-seaters are operating randomly because they are not regulated. They don't have any route to operate to.
Yeah.
So they are only operating randomly. Whenever they get customers is where they are going.
Yes.
So which is a problem. Number one, it's a problem on a fatigue. A driver need to rest,
yes.
properly rest,
yes.
before you take on the road. Secondly, the vehicle need a regular check. Tires, brakes, lights, and you name it.
Yes.
So therefore, really, this is not an easy exercise.
Yes.
So for us, we are supporting our leaders, such as Honorable Minister of Works and Transport, of the initiative, because it requires, it takes a leader to abolish and establish a new environment.
Yes, yes.
So, but it also take a well-informed citizens,
yes.
so that we can work together. That's why I'm saying we are not fighting each other, and you don't need to fight each other. We really need to work together. We need to understand each other, and we need to understand the environment where we are operating from. So that's why I'm saying the minister, is his obligation to make sure that he protects the Namibian citizens, both at all levels, taxis and buses on a local and a long distance. So that's why I'm saying this is up to the policy and regulation administrators to make sure that they protect each and everyone in the industry. Mostly, as I said, the long distance operators has become victim for many times. So remember, during COVID-19, they've been operating loading passengers halfway.
Yes.
Until today, they were never compensated. But they did not give up. They have tried their level best to save the Namibian people during that difficult time.
Yes.
It is something that needs to be appreciated. Secondly, now, when you see their buses, especially as we speak, whenever they are approaching the roadblock, they are going so under serious harassment sometimes by the police officers.
Yes.
All the tires, lights, brakes, and everything, they've been so scrutinized. But when it comes to the sedan vehicles, they are transporting, but they never been, go through those checks.
So they're not under the same...
They are not under the same treatment. So that's why I'm saying, we are not saying they cannot be properly scrutinized or checked.
Yeah.
Because they have to obey the rules and rules of the road.
Yes.
So, because they are carrying the lives of the Namibian people.
Yes, yes.
But that treatment must be, across the board.
Yeah.
So therefore, I'm saying it is not going to be easy exercise.
Yeah.
So 7-seater operators really need to think twice, because when you are awarded with that transportation permit, it comes with the serious obligations.
The transportation permits that are currently issued to minibuses and other larger long-distance travel providers, do they specify which routes must be taken, or do they have any restrictions as to where the transport can be provided to?
Of course.
Okay.
It have got those restrictions. And I'm telling you, these challenges also facing the law enforcement. As we speak now, the law enforcement and the Road Transportation Board, they've been sleeping on duty, because they never protected the industry in terms of controlling the permit. The permit, I think Regulations 5, at the back of the transportation permit, it says the permit should not be rented to any third party.
Oh.
The new fine list also stating that should you rent that particular permit, it's an offense which is, you can receive a fine of 4,000. I never saw it happen or anybody fined when he rent out the transportation permit.
Yes.
So, and again, in terms of the traffic and transport regulations, and also the Road Transportation Board, it says you cannot convey passengers for reward without transportation permit.
Yes.
Many people, as we speak, Mercedes-Benz, government vehicle, couriers, everybody's just transporting passengers, meaning that there's no protection within the taxi industry.
Yes.
So, while supporting the Honorable Minister, we are also calling upon him to try and make sure that the industry is protected, particularly local taxis and long distances. That's why there must be a distinction between these two operations so that we save the Namibian people accordingly.
Yes, yes. There is something that the minister said. I asked him specifically about safety concerns associated with 7-seaters. And he said that that kind of concern is hypocrisy. He said that any safety concern in terms of long-distance road travel is an individual issue in relation to behavior and making sure that your equipment is safe, the vehicle and so forth. Do you think that the minister's attitude is correct, that there's no inherent extra danger involved in traveling by sedan long distance compared to minibus or long distance taxi?
Remember, I've said earlier that the minister is a politician.
Yeah.
And the duty of a politician is to impose the political will, to make a way where there is no way, and to stop whatever needs to be stopped, whether you are doing it whatever way. So it is a responsibility. He's a lawmaker, remember?
Yes.
So while he have got a will or intention for this law to change, so he is the one who have to make sure that he take the law to the parliament, so that whatever need to become a law has become a law. But before that, the law enforcement officials and the officials that are responsible for policies and regulations, it is their prime duty to make sure that whatever the minister has said does not contradict or infringe with the current or existing law.
Yes.
If it is so, it is their prime responsibility also to make sure that whatever is within the confinements of the law must be applicable and must be enforceable. If it is outside that particular law, then they cannot allow any individual to operate or to operate without outside the law.
Yes, yes.
This is what we are saying. So that's why I'm saying, even as we speak, as we're sitting here, we've got people that are starving, people that don't have food.
Yes.
It cannot and it shall never happen just for you to stand up from here, go to ShopRite because you are hungry, you don't have money. But it is our constitutional right to be right to food. Do you understand? It is our constitutional right.
Yeah.
But you cannot take food without paying.
Yes.
You cannot do that.
Yeah, yeah.
Same apply. You cannot transport passengers for reward without documentations.
Yes, yes.
So that is why I'm saying the minister have to have made those statements, whether outside or within the ambits of the law.
Yeah.
But the law enforcement officers and the officials that are responsible for policies and regulations must make sure that the minister's wish and willing to see the Namibian people saved have to be done within the confinement of the law.
Thank you.
So
thank you.
on that basis, I'm just adding that, of course, we are appealing to the Honorable Minister to take 3 things into consideration. The protection of the long-distance operators that are now under the serious and stiffness of the payment, the fees. They have to pay for the operator card, the vehicle license, the logbook, which is mass distance charges at RFA, whereby now they are intending, and if things are going the way it is going now, they are planning to hand over all those trap block sheet book, the mass distance charges to RFA, so that they can no longer pay for that charges which is charging per kilometers, so that they can be treated the same as 7-seaters. Because 7-seaters are not paying that.
Mr. Nakathingo, our time is almost up.
Yes.
So I think we're going to have to cut it short now. But thank you very much. You've shared a lot of insight with us.
Yes, please.
And you've been a great guest here on Evening Review. Please join us again for the next Evening Review tomorrow evening. Good night.
Thank you.